You were just overseas. You were in England, London. Is that where you were?
Yes, man. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I went to England. I found out it was a fact that the police really don't carry guns.
That's right.
Which
That's
I
what
thought
I've
was like a myth, man. People still listen to them. It's true, man. You know what they got? They got these whistles. It's like the most amazing thing. I saw a guy running from the cops, like 15 cops chasing him. I think he stole a pencil or something. Now, this guy is running. I mean, he is really, I thought he was gonna get away. All of a sudden, he just, it's like,
You must be very excited. The program has never been on the air. It's debuting it next week. Is that right?
that is correct.
Man, you're in good shape right after Home Improvement. It's a huge, huge hit. You must be very excited.
Yes, man. You know what it is, Dave. When I was growing up, I didn't see too many, brothers on TV.
Not too many black people on TV.
Not too many. I mean, there was Isaac from Love Boat and a few others.
Well, that was an excellent role model there.
Yeah, man. And I'm telling you, I used to watch
Cruise ship bartender, yes, sir. Slick.
Supposed to be that. Yeah, I used to watch this show, Fantasy Island, for like 9 years. So one brother on that, he was driving Mr. Rourke's car, Dave. You can think of a better fantasy than that, can't you, bro? You know. Stretch a little.
Shoot for the stars, absolutely.
Yes, man. You know, I guess I was raised to pay attention to that kind of thing. My mom's stickler for that.
Yeah.
She used to play these Malcolm X tapes at the house. Did any of your parents? Never mind. But anyway, for the audience at home, the people here are mostly Caucasian. It's all good, though. It's all good. But, so she would play these tapes, and I mean, Malcolm X just doesn't make a lot of sense to a 4-year-old. He'd be saying a little speech, it's like if you have some coffee, it's too black, too strong. So what do? You integrate it with cream. It used to be strong is now weak. What used to be hot is now cold. We used to keep you awake. Well, now it puts you to sleep. Sometimes you don't even know if you had coffee. I was like, what? Well, sometimes I don't know if I have coffee. I see the white man is trying to trick me into drinking tea.
Yeah. You moved from where to California? Where are you from originally?
Originally from D.C.
From Washington, D.C. You move out there to California. How long ago did you move out?
Oh, a few years ago, man, and it killed me.
Really?
Yeah, the first week I was there, they stole my car. It was a rental car. But it still hurts.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, I just put gas in it and everything, topped the tank off.
You feel violated anyway. That's the same thing.
Yeah, but this is what makes it worse, is I called a rental car place and they send me a Lincoln Town car.
Oh, that's a nice ride, huh?
Well, that's what the guy told me. I was like, am I gonna like it? He said, you are gonna love this car.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen it?
I've seen the Lincoln Town car, sure.
It looked
Nice
like
big sedan.
Like a big pimp car.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was weird, man. I couldn't even control it. I felt like a pimp in this car.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense. I drove it down Sunset Boulevard and all the hookers like snapped to attention. Then like a week after that, we had that earthquake.
Oh my God, they're horrible, aren't they?
I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, very frightening.
Yeah, you learn a lot about yourself when you think you were gonna die.
Sure.
I learned I don't care about anybody but myself, Dave. I was running through the halls, pushing old people. Yeah, hold your tongue, lady! I gotta live. And then, it's all over and you feel bad.
Yeah.
Why do people even run during an earthquake? It's like, where the hell are you going? It's shaking everywhere.
Yeah. Nothing you can do there. Your friends must be, are they supportive of your success? Because you're like 22 years old, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
I would think that maybe your friends could be a little bit envious of this.
Not envious. You know what they do is they ask me for favors. I got to bail a friend out of jail.
All right.
2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Yeah. For a black dude to voluntarily walk into a police precinct was unnerving. I kept feeling like I'd be like, hi, I'm here to bail out my friend. Well, since you're here, you do fit a description if you'll just... That's how they always get you, fitting the descriptions. Now, I could be bitter and blame all the police, but I would never do that.
No.
I'll tell you who I blame. It's those sketch artists, man.
Right.
They keep drawing the same brother over and over again.
Have you, it's none of my business, but have you yourself ever, smoked,
Yes. but only for medicinal purposes.
I see. Well, that's different. And what was the problem? What was the ailment? What were you trying to overcome?
You know, it's funny, Dave. I found myself too sharp and alert.
I had to get something to treat that, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted that sedateness.
You ever been to Camp David?
No, but I was invited.
Yeah. Whoa. Pretty good. Pretty good deal. How's everything going? You get a new dog, huh?
Yeah,
Good for
man.
you.
You know, I got lonely. I bought a dog. He's
They're
cute.
great, aren't they?
Yeah, you got a dog?
Yeah, I've had dogs, yeah.
Oh, you don't have one now?
Well, passed on.
I'm sorry I brought that up,
That's
Dave.
all right. That's all right. He lived a long, rich, full life. He was 43 when he died.
Yeah, my dog is like, he's a little dog. He's an apartment dog, like 20 pounds.
Yeah.
All white and fluffy, American Eskimo. And that's actually, I named him Whitey.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. It's bad because I piss my neighbors off. I train them in the lobby, so they always, you know, sit Whitey and roll over Whitey. You know, yeah.
Did you celebrate New Year's? You have a nice holiday season? Do anything fun?
I went home. I went down to D.C.
What's it like? Now that's your hometown, right?
Yeah.
The nation's capital.
Some folks from D.C. Good to see you alive. I'm kidding.
What is it like to have your hometown also the nation's capital?
Well, I love D.C. It's home. But going back, it's like, you know, if you're like at your house,
yeah,
and your friend will come over and say, hey, man, it stinks in here. And you'll say...
I don't know that exactly, but
all right.
Well, take your word for it.
I'm a bachelor. I'm a young bachelor. It's happened to me. They say, yeah, it stinks in here. And, of course, I'm going to say, no, it doesn't stink in here. Then we go out. And then you come back and you say, you know what? It kind of stinks in here, yeah. I mean, since I've been home, I've seen a better way. I mean, it's like D.C. is the only city where the mayor's on parole. I mean, and I'm not knocking Marion Barry. You know, I'm from the city.
Right.
I know what it's like, but you know, I mean, I know a lot of politicians do bad things. It's just not that damn bad. Crank.
Now, when you're making your living as a comedian and having a show about current events and stuff, you have to keep up on what's going on. So you must have a pretty good knowledge of what the news is these days. You pay attention to the news all the time, huh?
Well, you know, it's funny, Dave. In Puerto Rico, right, I started seeing, like, you know, I was meeting a lot of people from overseas.
Yeah.
And these people, they're very edgy. They don't like Americans so much anymore, I'm starting to feel. They wouldn't say they don't like Americans, but they'll say things that would just mean like, you know, statistically Americans are the fattest people in the world. And then first of all, they're talking to me, so it sounds crazy.
That's right.
And second of all, I said, we supposed to be fat. We're rich. That's how we roll.
Yeah.
It's like, if you notice, when we bombed Afghanistan, we dropped food on them first, just so they know the fat people are coming, man. Don't mess with us. We got food to drop. How we roll.
Yeah, that's the way that worked, I guess.
Yeah, and then I went on this is weird, I went on a vacation with a white friend of mine, Chip, and we went to Africa. Now, here's the irony of that. My white friend loved Africa. I had a terrible time.
Is that right?
Yeah, well, my whole thing was like, it was just too much crime and poverty and disease. I could go home to D.C. if I want to see that. But Chip was just like stepping over people. Excuse me, you with the sores on you. I'm trying to find my resort. And then he'd go up to dudes like, pardon me, you with your ribs poking out. Do you know which way Wendy's is? I'm starving. I'm completely famished. It's not, yeah.
And you mentioned Washington, D.C., but you actually live on a farm in Ohio now. Is that right?
Yes.
How did that happen? Are you originally from Ohio, or do you?
It's a long story. My parents split up, and my dad lived in Ohio, and then I moved out there in my adult life, and I learned like how to milk a cow, which I had never done before. Actually, I milked a goat. But it takes a lot more finesse than you think it does. You know, what you do is you squeeze the top, and then you take these 3 fingers and you just kind of milk it.
Right.
Your inclination would be to pull it.
Yes.
The adolescent in me just wants to... But it was great, man. It's kind of nice because you get away from all the struggle and strife of urban life. Like, you know, ever since the war and the election, there's so many other things going on that kind of fall by the wayside.
Yeah.
It's big stories. Like Roy got bit by a tiger. I don't know if you heard about that. I know it's not a nice thing to bring up on a comedy show, you know. And what made me feel worse about him getting bit is that I didn't have tickets. Because, you know, I would have liked to have seen something like that.
Well, it certainly was a surprise for the audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the tape. Like, I'm hoping that Real TV shows, you know that show Real TV?
Yeah.
They'll show it, and then they'll put a voiceover underneath it to make it worse. Like, this guy thought he was gonna beat a tiger on the head with the microphone. It looks like the tiger's in control of this show, Roy. You know. That was a big one. A lot of stuff happened. There was the blackouts.
My God, wasn't that awful?
It was really scary.
Yeah.
You know who actually enjoyed it, though? The homeless. I went outside, they were all like, well. It's not as easy as it looks, is it, Dave?
When you're out there in the farm, do you miss the city?
No. I mean, you know, every once in a while you're gonna miss like that exciting city life, but I got digital cable, man, so I watch everything. If I want to see some crime and criminals, Law and Order, Oz, I can watch all these things and feel right at home. Sometimes I'll pee in the living room to get that New York smell going.
I see. Well, that's certainly refreshing.
And everybody's so much more conservative than me out there. I mean, from like, just personally and politically, like, you know, politically. I almost went to this war demonstration. I almost went. Until I saw what happened to them Dixie chicks. I said, forget that. Yeah. If they do that to 3 white women, they're gonna tear my black ass to pieces. Or just stay in the house and hope for the best.
Let's talk about this Radio City Music Hall gig. You've been there once before, maybe other times, but at least once before, right?
Yeah, well...
When was that?
When I was maybe 19, I opened for Aretha Franklin at Radio City.
Wow, 19.
Yeah. Looking back on it, I'm sure she didn't choose me herself. But it was great. It was great. I always want to go back as a headliner. So.
Oh my God! But 19, and like when I was 19, I had a paper route. But looking back on it, were you prepared at 19 for that kind of a gig?
Yeah, it was 15 minutes. I had about 30 minutes then. You know, I was prepared enough.
Yeah.
I mean, was I as good as Aretha Franklin? No.
Well, no.
But my job is just to get people used to looking at the stage. I'm the opening act.
Yeah.
It mattered to me if I did good, but nobody really cared.
Is this, now, at a big gig like this, they have a rehearsal? Do they have a walkthrough? Do they have like a sound checks and that kind of thing?
I don't know. I imagine there'll be a sound check. You know, you can either go or send a guy.
Right. But when you were 19, did you go for a sound check?
Well, I skipped it, which was a terrible mistake.
That was a mistake.
It was a terrible mistake. I skipped the sound check, and nobody could hear me for the first 3 minutes. But you know what it is, Dave? You've been a stand-up for many years, and you know, you probably get that question when people say, oh my God, you're a comedian. Well, what happens if you go out there and you tell your jokes and no one laughs? Nothing happens. You get paid the same, you're not gonna die, nothing bad happens. So I keep it all in perspective. It's not the...
Well, good for you to keep it in perspective, because it's something that I was never able to keep in perspective. And believe me, I have been on more bombing runs than the Enola Gay.
But I'm of the belief that the best comedians bomb hard. When they bomb hard. You take chances. Sometimes you fall flat, sometimes you do great. I think that's, my favorite comedians did that.
Now, in having this discussion not so very long ago with Jerry Seinfeld, he said that when he's in a situation where he senses that things are not going his way is when all he does is rely on the material. He doesn't worry about anything else. He just goes right on with his material, and sooner or later he will prevail. Do you have that experience?
Not at all. No. No.
Now, you had the Dave Chappelle show at Comedy Central, and then you didn't have the Dave Chappelle show at Comedy Central. And in comedy, the reason most people have a show and then don't have a show is because they say, well, we don't want you to have a show anymore. But that wasn't the case here. The case here was I guess you said, I don't want your show anymore, and you took a hike.
It's
you
worse
really
than
took
that.
It's worse.
Yeah.
Well, now, are you tired of talking about it? It's 10 years, of course you're tired of talking about it.
I don't talk about it. It's like, I just, listen, here it is. Technically, I never quit. I'm 7 years late for work.
Boy, are you going to be in trouble when you go back.
Well, no, it's like getting divorced in the 50s. People didn't go to divorce court. They just look at their wife like, baby, I'm going to go get a pack of cigarettes. I'll be right back. And then they just leave with the clothes on their back and make a go of it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even internet back then. You could move 11 miles away and have a whole new life.
11 miles.
Yeah,
that's all it would take.
I've never seen her again. Just stop going to the same places. Is this yours or mine?
It sure is.
Wouldn't that be weird if I drank your water?
Not at all. But so there was a wild speculation, and is there anything that we don't know that we should know, or something we do know that we shouldn't know?
Huh?
Let's just say I'm you, and 10 years ago, I don't one day go to work. And
you just stopped coming
I stopped coming to work, and that's what you did. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Okay, and you went to South Africa. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
And you lived in South Africa for an extended period of time.
Well, no. I was there for 2 weeks. I mean, you know what I mean? There's not too many good hiding places left in America.
But am I right about this? There was great mystery about this strategy on your part. Was there not?
I don't know. Because when it was all over the media, I was gone. And then if you're the guy, nobody really says anything to you.
Right.
So I don't know if it was mysterious or not mysterious. It was like living in the corner of perception and reality. You know what I mean? And like, it's a weird place to be. When everyone thought Wesley Snipes was in jail, I saw him at a party.
That's right. But here's what I remember about it. Comedy Central, your former, that's where the show was. The show had been on the air 2 years, maybe 3 years?
2 years. We were shooting our third season.
And there's a negotiation, a renegotiation, and they said, here, we're going to guarantee you an enormous sum of money to continue doing the show because it's so successful. And then, apparently you agreed to it, and then where did he go? The show stopped and never came back. And like you said, 7 years later, you're just late for work. So a decision was made. You made a decision.
Oh, yeah. I made a series of decisions.
Do you regret saying, I don't want this enormous sum of money?
Well, okay, look, Dave. It's very hard to go through something like this because no one's really done it before. So there's not too many people that don't think I'm crazy, right? So I look at it like this. I'm at a restaurant with my wife. It's a nice restaurant. We're eating dinner. I look across the room. I say, you see this guy over here across the room? He has $100 million. And we're eating the same entree. So, okay, fine. I don't have $50 million or whatever it was. But say I have $10 million in the bank. The difference in lifestyle is minuscule. The only difference between having $10 million and $50 million is an astounding $40 million. Of course, I would like to have that money.
You're right. It's 40 million is the difference.
Yeah, you know, because when you quit, like my friends will try and make me feel better, but no one's been through that, so they'll say not stupid stuff. It's nice, but they'll be like, well, you know what, Dave? At the end of the day, you still have your integrity. I was like, yeah, it's great. I'll go home and make the kids some integrity sandwiches. It makes no sense at all. It's like there's nothing anyone can say. It's just you do what you feel like you need to do.
Right.
At
Well,
any given
okay.
time.
Well, there you go. That's the answer. And how do you feel with doing what you felt you needed to do?
It's a very complicated answer. Because I've felt a variety of ways in the last 10 years. You know, whenever there's something that I'd like to have, that I could have afforded, that I can't now afford, well, then I'm upset about it. But then when I see a guy going to a job that's time-consuming and he doesn't have the free time to do the things that I get to do, then I'd feel good about it.
But overall, in your heart, in everyone's heart, we know money is not the answer or the solution.
Money is the fuel for choices. Money gives me choices. So that's not nothing, it's something. I can choose when I want my kids to go to school. I can choose what I want to eat in a given day. It's not the end, but it's not the end all be all. There are other things in my life that I did not purchase with money that are very valuable to me.
That's right. And let's just say you had the 40 million. Who's to say you would be a happier or better person?
I think I might be a happier person. I don't know. And I really appreciate doing this show.
Well, it's great to see you again.
I'm happy to see you on television and off television.
I feel the same about you.
Much respect to you, David.
Very kind of you. Thank you very much. Dave Chappelle, ladies and gentlemen.